you going? Happy Monday. I just, you'll have to excuse the barking dogs. It's a little bit crazy here. I work from an office at home and everybody's a little crazy, but I just wanted to do a live today and talk about something that has come up for me over the weekend, and it ties in really well with what I'm going to be talking about at the Total Success Summit this month in Sydney. It's a couple of weeks away, and I'm really nervous, but I'm kind of excited. I actually can't wait to get my hair done. It's driving me nuts. But and it's dealing with your doubters, and where this comes from. Over the weekend, I went and did a workshop for a business, and on the way home stopped to grab some petrol, bumped into somebody that I've known for a long time. I think we possibly went to kinder together or something, and the conversation came up, and she said to me, "Oh yeah, I saw you doing this, you're talking at this summit with Michelle Bridges and Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I don't understand why they've asked you to do it." And that's kind of the point of what I'm going to be talking about, which is dealing with your doubters and how to move forward when possibly you're lacking that little bit of support, or you're lacking somebody believing in you. I find with all of my coaching clients, with my clients that I go out and do one-on-one days with my clients that I've been working with, doing their marketing for a while now, it's something that comes up as a business owner. Quite often you've got to do things and nobody believes in you. Nobody is going, you feel that you have a lack of support, and it can be quite lonely, I think, a little bit at times. But I've got some strategies that I'm going to share that have really helped me deal with this. And the first thing that I found was to look at where they're actually coming from. So when I'm dealing with people that say, "Oh, you can't do this," or "That's never going to happen," or "Why are they choosing you?" quite often that's just a projection of themselves. I shared an Arnold Schwarzenegger post the other day, and the message was that pity is, pity, everybody pities the weak, but jealousy you have to earn. So what I've come to find for myself and for my clients and the people that I work with and the people that I'm around is quite often the doubters will express themselves that you can't do this or that's never going to happen, because they're scared to do that themselves. They're not risk takers. They would never try to achieve what you're going for. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of gonads to do some of the things that we're doing in business, and that's not for everybody, and that's okay. But it is hard when you're in the middle of it and people are questioning that. So the first thing that I do is always look at where they're coming from. Quite often they're coming from a place of love as well, and they don't want to see you get hurt. They don't want to see you get disappointed. They don't want to see you lose out financially. But I think that, sometimes you've got to let them realize that you've got to put your big girl knickers on and really go for it. So sometimes it does come from jealousy, and sometimes it does come from love. So that's the first thing to remember, is have a think about where this is actually coming from. And that can really help you ground yourself as to where it's all sits with you. The other thing that I found really effective, that something that's worked for me, is I've always been around people that are doing similar or outstandingly crazier things than I'm actually doing. So what I mean is working with masterminds, working with mentors. I can remember the first time that I ever went to a mastermind group. It was I was in Melbourne at the Pullman Hotel, and I was really excited to get there, and it was the first time that I ever went there somewhere, and there was probably about 300 or 400 people in the room. And the first time that I ever sat down with people that I didn't know, and or actually even sat down and told people what we were doing with this, invention that my husband had, and it was a silicone nozzle, and it was going up against free products. And nobody laughed at me. Nobody sort of wet themselves laughing and said that's never going to work. Everybody was leaned in, and they were interested, and they wanted to hear more about it. And I never found that being in those sorts of situations and those sorts of groups, I never found that I questioned myself, because there was always that support there from people that were like you, and people that were going through the same sorts of things and trying the same types of things, and we were all sort of learning together. So that's my second idea, or my second tip, is to really think about working in a mastermind group, or with a mentor or a coach, or somebody that has either done it before, or is currently doing it, or has clients that have actually done it, because they can offer you the opportunity to get through the head stuff that pops up all the time when you're constantly dealing with negativity around what you're going to be doing. And I find after a while you get to the stage where you can shut out the negativity and just focus on the positive. And I think that's something that you need to focus on. And my third tip for this live is just thinking about the conversations that you're having with people in your life, the people that, perhaps by circumstance you have to be around. So people at your work, that you live next to, your neighbors, your family, your friends. Don't tell them what you're doing. Sometimes it's a little bit easier for them to have no idea what's going on, because then they can't add their opinions on it. I've found now that when I'm going out with people that I've experienced in the past that they've been quite negative with what I'm doing, I don't even tell them what I'm doing. I use the conversations and make it all about them, and ask them lots of questions, because I'm interested in what people are doing and other people's lives. And I think that's a skill that I've got, is not really being able to deflect, but because I am really interested in people and what they're doing, I can find that I can turn it around and ask lots of questions about them, so I don't have to tell them what I'm doing, because frankly, most people would have and think that it's absolutely crazy. And a lot of people that I know, that I've known for a long time, have absolutely no idea why I would be asked to speak on this stage. And to admit, the first time when they rang and said, we want you, I kind of went, have you called the, right, you're speaking to Eve, don't you? And they went, yeah. So we have our own doubt and our own problems with our own self-belief. But I think dealing with people that don't believe in you is really, really hard. So just to recap, make sure that you are thinking about where the person's coming from. Is it a place of jealousy, or is it a place of love that their doubt and questions are coming from? Think about working with a mentor, coach, or mastermind. There's some great groups that you can be involved in that will really help you as well. And third of all, focus on hearing more about other people and talking to people about what they're doing, so that you can deflect a little bit off yourself in situations, and that way you can get around a little bit of the doubt of what's going on. So that's all I've got for today. I hope those tips are useful. If that's something that you're really struggling with at the moment in your business, is having people that are doubting you, or you feel a lack of support for what you're doing, just send me a personal message. I'd love to jump on the phone and hear what's going on with you, and just find out if there's anything that I can do to help you, or I can direct you to people that would be happy to hear and become your own cheer squad. All right, happy Monday.